Hey everyone, it's Sarah, and I did a previous vlog about the Disney College Program General Application, but this time I'm here to talk to you about the ever infamous phone interview. So I had my phone interview on Monday at 6:15. I think it went rather well. Of course, I can't really know until I get in or not, and unfortunately I don't hear back for another 2 weeks, so I get to wait, which isn't necessarily fun, but I actually feel pretty chill about waiting. It's very unusual for me. But anyway, so the day of the phone interview, I had 2 classes and I was freaking out in both of them. I'd had the very bad idea of drinking coffee beforehand, which made me freak out even more. And so all my friends got to see me freak out, which was quite fun. Right. Okay, so before the interview, before your time, they say be ready at least 15 minutes before your phone interview. And they called me right on time, I believe, if not maybe like 2 minutes early. I was kind of locked in my room pacing back and forth for like a half an hour beforehand because I didn't really know what else to do. Someone asked me, like someone on Tumblr asked me if I was nervous. Oh my gosh, I was so nervous. I know you should just be calm and professional. I was so nervous. I was able to kind of right before, like maybe 10 minutes before the phone interview, kind of calm down and just kind of know what I want to say about everything, which really worked. I think it helped. But I was still nervous. I was pacing back and forth in my room a little bit. And one thing that actually helped me calm my nerves was I was playing piano. I really like playing the Pirates of the Caribbean theme song on the piano. And so I was just kind of doing that and other Disney songs that I have, kind of get myself in the mood, gave me something to do with my crazy energy that I had. But anyway, so they called right on time, and then I had Christine, I think that's her name, and of course she asked the ever famous first question of why do you want to do the Disney College Program? And so I gave her my long reason that I've been thinking about for the past year. And it went on, and I'm not gonna say my answers because honestly I don't think you care, and it'll just make this video way too long if I said my answers. So I will say my questions, and I'll also write my questions on my Blogspot, so you don't have to watch the entire video just to get an idea. And so she first asked me how my first year in college was, because I'm a sophomore, which I guess was just kind of break the ice and ease the tension before we got into the serious stuff. But I guess that kind of helped a little. A little. So she asked, how was your first year in college? And then said, why do you want to do the program? And then she asked about my past work experience, and I just told her that I've been working in a chiropractic office as a receptionist for the past 3 years, which is true. And then I told her some volunteer experience I did in high school. And then she asked, like, since I've been working in a chiropractic office that's indoors, and do I prefer indoors or outdoors? And I said, I'll do any one you throw at me. You know, I told you I wasn't going to be telling you my answers, but I am anyway. Well, whatever. Anyway, so she asked about if I'd rather like indoor or outdoor, and then she asked if I had a specific work pace that I liked working at, either like slow, busy, moderate, something like that. And then she asked, the one that really kind of confused me for a second was, if you were a merchandise cast member, how would you make a customer's experience magical? I had to think about that for a little bit, but I think I pulled it off. Good customer service and all that kind of stuff. And then she asked if I've worked with cash before, and she asked me how I would handle a repetitive task, which is probably applying to attractions because it is rather repetitive during the day if you don't switch jobs very much. And then she said, have you spoken in front of a large group of people? Again, probably for attractions because you have to say spiels and whatnot. And then she asked me if I was familiar with the Disney look. And she also asked if I have ever like lived in dorms of some sort, and I never have. So she asked me like how would I handle that, or if I'm okay with it. I'm fine with it. And then she asked if I could, how would I handle a situation with a roommate, if I had a problem with them. And then she also asked, I'm just kind of remembering these right now, how would I handle an emergency situation? And then I said I'd be calm and follow directions. She like, what makes you think that you would? And I'm just like, never necessarily been in an emergency situation before, but I guess like busy situations I usually keep a clear head and whatnot. But I mean, she asked those general questions. I didn't really get any situational questions like I've heard some people get. She asked my top 3 roles, which were merchandise, attractions, and hotel. And she didn't ask any questions in regard to hotel for me, probably because it's a pretty popular one, and I think they usually give some sort of hotel to like the hotel majors. So she mainly just asked about merchandise and attractions, and then she told me how competitive the program is and how it's a good thing that I checked at least some sort of interest into every single job, and because I will be considered for every job that I have there. Not necessarily my high choices, but even the ones with low interest I could still possibly get, which I'm very aware of, but I mean, I'll do any job they throw at me. She was talking about how she has no control out of the exception process after this interview. Like after this, she's just done. She doesn't get to know who gets put in. So she has no control. The entire interview is just forwarded on. I don't know if she writes down notes or if she records the interview and has other people listen to it, but that's what she told me. And then she said it's going to take about 2 weeks for me to hear back, which I was very aware of. Then she asked if I had any questions, and I had quite a few, actually. I asked what kind of languages that I would probably, it'd be nice to kind of have a basic grasp on before we go, because I do generally know Spanish. I can hold a conversation. I'm not fluent. But she did tell me if you are fluent, you can put like on your name tag that you are fluent underneath, so guests that speak a different language can look up and find someone who can speak their language. And then I just asked about some sort of classes that regard to my major and being a campus rep, and then I might be moving near Disneyland when I transfer schools, so I asked about that. She actually told me that after the program that you're done, that's your program, unless you get an extension obviously, but since it's a program, you can't transfer to Disneyland if you work in Disney World, but it will help you put a foot in the door for completing the college program if you want to continue working within Disney with the like parks or whatnot. But you still have to go through an application and stuff over again. All that great stuff. So that's about how it went down. I mean, it lasted about 16 minutes. I saw the little ticker thing on my phone. And my friend Sarah had hers yesterday. Hers lasted maybe 17 minutes. I've heard the average is maybe 15-20 minutes. I've heard some people go 45 minutes. I've heard some people go like 8 minutes. I don't think it matters how long it is as long as you get your point across and you convey the reasons why you want to go there and you answer their questions in the best way possible. I mean, that's my advice really for people who want advice about doing the program. Just be yourself. Be confident in your answers and just answer as best as you can and be happy. I had this looking at me. Oh god dang it. I had this little post-it kind of on my laptop when I was answering questions to kind of remind me like, oh, be happy. You're applying for the happiest place on the world. So anyway. So someone asked me, one of the questions was, thinking back now, if there was any way you could have prepared for the interview questions that were asked, what would you have done? Honestly, I have been preparing for this interview for a very long time, ever since I like started deciding that I wanted to do the program, which has been about a year, if you think about it, and this is pretty much the only time I can apply without missing school. So I've been looking up like vlogs like this one, about the phone interview, what kind of questions they ask. I found a list of questions on Tumblr of all of the common questions that they ask, and I just kind of went over that, and I went over the questions that they have been asking recently in the Facebook group because some people posted the questions that they had. I mean, I can't think of any other way I would have prepared more. You just need to know why you want to go and kind of think of the best way to answer all the questions that apply well to yourself and whatnot. So that's basically it. It was rather such a calming experience to get that over with. I mean, that was so nerve-wracking. I was my stomach was going crazy that day. But once it was done, it felt like I actually kind of forgot what happened after I was done. A good 15 minutes of my life, just kind of a blur. But I did write down all the questions that they asked for the most part, so I could make this lovely vlog and let people know what's to expect, because I do know that vlogs really helped me when I was getting ready for the interview. So if you have any questions about the interview that I didn't go over, send them to me. I'm willing to answer, and hopefully things go well. I will probably be getting back to you if I get accepted or not in 2 weeks. If you have any questions, message me. See you later.